Dear students, do we hear us? Afsevridu domen. Dear students, esteemed colleagues, respected guests, and valued partners. It's my great pleasure to welcome you all to the opening of Urban October 2025 at the Faculty of Design. As every year, we gather with a shared mission to reflect our urban environments and explore how design can shape more sustainable, inclusive, and resilient futures for all. This year's Urban October begins with the celebration of World Habitat Day, a United Nations initiative that reminds us of our collective responsibility to ensure that our cities and communities are places of dignity and opportunity. The theme for 2025 is Urban Crisis Response. This theme could not be more relevant. Around the world, cities are facing unpredictable challenges, from climate change and migration to housing shortage, social exclusion, and digital divides. But with every crisis comes the opportunity to rethink, to innovate, and to redesign. Design, where approached with care, responsibility, and vision, is one of the most powerful tools we have to respond to such crises. At the Faculty of Design, we believe that education, creativity, and collaboration are key to this transformation. That is why Urban October is not only a month of celebration, it is a platform for action. Today, we are especially proud to open the exhibition of student works, exploring the role of wood as a material of the future. Sustainable, regenerative, and full of possibilities to urban use. These projects, which are exhibited all over our Faculty of Design, I would like to thank very much to our students for their innovative approach, and of course to our mentor on one side, but on the other side, we have many companies for which these projects have been also done. Let this October be a month of learning, exchanging ideas, imagining new futures, and above all, working and designing for purpose. Thank you to all of you, and warm welcome to the beginning of our Urban October with all these events which we have prepared for this week. At last, I would like to thank you to our organizing committee, especially to Jan, Nina, Almina, Moitza, and so on, to all, of course, Domen, who is all the time here, and of course, all my colleagues from Faculty of Design, and of course, also from Design Management Competence Center, Helena, Jan, Tamara, and so on. And of course, I don't want to miss our close friends. These are Brina, Inge, Veronica, and so Petra, and so on. Thank you so much. Now, we are going to proceed the honorable speeches. On the stage, I am inviting Professor Dr. Jasna Hrovatin, our Basdin for Science and Research, Culture of Living, with the main theme, the future with the scent of food. Jasna, the stage is yours.
Warmly welcome from me too. My speech will be in Slovene, but everything I will say is written on the slides in English. Um, I will speak in Slovene because almost 100% of people here speak Slovene. Torej, zakaj naslov Prihodnost z vonjem po lesu? Ker je les idealen material za trajnostno in na človeka osredotočeno oblikovanje. Ko stopimo v prostor, kjer zadiši po lesu, se počutimo povezani z naravo. Morda se spomnimo na vonj borovcev ob morju, na vonj cedrovine v babičini skrinji, na vonj hrasta v vinski kleti. Vonj po lesu sproža občutke domačnosti, topline, pristnosti, varnosti. Zato les ni pomemben samo kot konstrukcijski material, nezanemarljiva je tudi senzorna izkušnja, ki jo doživimo v stiku z njim. Les je po svoji podobi unikaten. Različne vrste lesa imajo različne barve, različne teksture, fizikalne lastnosti, seveda tudi vonj in to lahko postane tudi del oblikovalske zgodbe. Poleg tega je les tudi prijeten material na dotik, je topel in mehak. Vse te senzorne lastnosti prispevajo k temu, da se v prostoru, kjer nas obdaja les, počutimo prijetno. Znanstveno je dokazano, da les pomirja, zmanjšuje stres, zniža krvni tlak in srčni utrip, omogoča boljši spanec in izboljšuje koncentracijo. Les je odličen toplotni izolator, zaradi mnogih načinov obdelave, ki so možne, pa je tudi idealen material za opremo akustično najbolj zahtevnih prostorov. Les je higroskopen material, ki v povečani vlagi v prostoru le-to absorbira in jo vrne v zrak, ko je relativna vlažnost nizka. S tem mehanizmom pomaga vzdrževati primerno vlažnost v prostoru, kar lahko preprečuje porast plesni oziroma drugih alergenov in posledično tudi alergij. Poleg tega ugodna relativna vlažnost vpliva na zdravje dihal in boljši spanec. Že na začetku sem omenila, da je les simbol domačnosti in topline. Po eni strani nas njegov izgled, njegova prisotnost povezuje s spomini in preteklostjo, po drugi strani pa je les gotovo material prihodnosti. Zakaj je les material prihodnosti? Zaradi vseh prej naštetih senzornih lastnosti in tudi zato, ker je trajnostni material. To pomeni, da je les obnovljiv. Kaj pomeni, da je obnovljiv? Da če drevo posekamo, ga lahko obnovimo, ker ga lahko ponovno posadimo in spet imamo les, kvaliteten material za naše zanamce. Poleg tega je primeren za krožno gospodarstvo, lahko ga ponovno uporabimo, recikliramo. Pomembna pozitivna lastnost lesa pa je tudi to, da drevesa v fazi fotosinteze skladiščijo ogljikov dioksid v lesu in ta ostane uskladiščen v lesu oziroma v konstrukciji stavbe skozi celotno obdobje uporabe. Kot tak je zelo dobra alternativa armiranemu betonu. V tabeli vidimo primerjavo med lesom in betonom ter jeklom. Lesena gradnja ima v primerjavi z armirano betonsko gradnjo veliko nižji ogljični odtis, saj potrebujemo za proizvodnjo jekla in cementa bistveno več energije. Zanimiv je tudi podatek, da pri klasični 200-tonski armirano-betonski konstrukciji v fazi proizvodnje materiala, transporta, vgradnje in kasneje po razgradnji spustimo v zrak 300 ton ogljikovega dioksida. Že prej smo omenili, da lesena gradnja omogoča dobro počutje, kar ne moremo trditi za armirano betonsko, kjer imamo v bistvu vpliv Faradayjeve kletke. Vsi vemo, da les gori, vendar pa je zanimivo, da ima lesena gradnja v primeru požara večjo odpornost pred porušitvijo. Zakaj? Zaradi tega, ker ob požaru nastanejo visoke temperature in ko se jeklo stopi, armirano-betonska konstrukcija nima več svoje nosilnosti. Medtem ko pri lesu nastane okrog recimo stebra zoglenela plast, ki preprečuje prodor ognja v notranjost, zaradi tega, ker preprečuje prodor zraka. Vemo pa, da za ogenj potrebujemo zrak. In tako notranji del konstrukcije ostane nepoškodovan, zaradi česar lahko lesena konstrukcija dlje časa opravlja svojo nosilno funkcijo. Potresna varnost je pri leseni gradnji bistveno boljša od armirano-betonske, saj je odvisna od teže objekta. Teža lesenega objekta pa je kar v povprečju 4-krat manjša od klasično zidane in seveda s tem je tudi sorazmerno manjša potresna sila. Nezanimiva prednost lesene gradnje je tudi energetska učinkovitost, saj je les kar 400-krat boljši izolator od jekla, 15-krat boljši od betona in 6-krat boljši od opeke. To pomeni, da če hočemo imeti zid, ki bo imel enako toplotno prehodnost, bomo potrebovali zid debeline cirka 90 centimetrov iz opeke v primerjavi z steno iz masivnega lesa, ki je lahko debela samo 17 centimetrov. To so vedeli že naši predniki, ki so ob zidove svojih bivališč postavljali drva in na ta način v bistvu zvišali toplotno izolativnost svojih objektov. Na področju lesene gradnje v zadnjem času srečujemo s številnimi inovacijami. Zelo pomembno so križno lepljeni nosilci, lesena vlakna se uporabljajo tudi pri 3D tiskanju in seveda pri novih kompozitnih materialih, ki se uporabljajo tako za vertikalne kot horizontalne površine. Kakšna bodo torej mesta prihodnosti? Mesta prihodnosti bodo posidana z lesenimi stolpnicami s hibridno konstrukcijo. Na posnetku vidimo stolpnico, ki ima 18 nadstropij in je visoka 53 metrov in je izdelana iz prefabriciranih križno lepljenih nosilcev, jedro pa je seveda armirano-betonsko. Zgrajena je bila v 57 dneh, to se pravi, da so naredili 2 nadstropja na teden. Tukaj pa vidimo najvišji masivni nebotičnik na svetu, ki ima 25 nadstropij in skoraj 87 metrov. Tudi tukaj gre za hibridno konstrukcijo, kjer je osrednje jedro iz armiranega betona, okoli pa imamo te križno lepljene nosilce, prefabricirane. Na Švedskem v Stockholmu pa raste največji leseno-urbanistični projekt na svetu, ki bo imel 2000 apartmajev, 7000 javnih prostorov in vse skupaj bo na 250.000 kvadratnih metrih. Začeli so ga graditi v letošnjem letu, projekt pa bo zaključen do leta 2030. Projekt poudarja zdravstvene in psihološke koristi lesene gradnje. Dom prihodnosti bo modularen, prilagodljiv in inteligenten, vendar bo še vedno temeljil na naravnih materialih, kjer ima les seveda najvišjo prednost. Značilnost mest prihodnosti pa ne bodo samo leseni objekti, ampak tudi veliko zelenja in dreves. Omenili smo prednosti lesa kot gradbenega materiala, vendar pa imajo drevesa poleg tega še številne pozitivne vplive na kvaliteto življenja. V gosto poseljenih mestih izginjajo zelene površine, ki jih nadomeščajo nebotičniki. Namesto prepustne vegetacije imamo neprepusten beton. Znanstveniki so odkrili, da naprimer temni pločniki, temne strehe vplivajo na dvig temperature in ta pojav se imenuje učinek mestnega toplotnega otoka. Kaj so torej značilnosti teh toplotnih otokov? Višje dnevne temperature in zmanjšano nočno ohlajanje, kar pomeni večja poraba elektrike za klimatske naprave. Vendar, ko mi ohladimo notranji prostor, s tem segrejemo zunanji prostor. Poleg tega potrebujemo za klimatske naprave tudi energijo in sama proizvodnja energije spet vpliva na onesnaževanje okolja in na kvaliteto zraka. Zato je zelo pomembno, da imamo v urbanem okolju čim več zelenja, čim več dreves. Kaj so torej koristi dreves v urbanem okolju? Hladnejše ozračje za 2 do 4 stopinje, absorbirajo onesnaževalce zraka, absorbirajo ogljikov dioksid, zmanjšujejo akustično onesnaževanje, podpirajo upravljanje meteorne vode, kar je v zadnjem času, ko imamo poplave, še toliko bolj pomembno. Povečujejo učinke panelov za proizvodnjo električne energije, omogočajo prostor za rekreacijo, za druženje in ščitijo biodiverziteto, s tem, ko zagotavljajo življenjsko okolje. Seveda pa les ni material prihodnosti samo na področju arhitekture, ampak tudi na področju notranje opreme. Uporaba sodobnih tehnologij in naravnih materialov, kot je les, omogočajo trajnostne, funkcionalne in človeku prijazne rešitve. Sodobne tehnologije omogočajo krajše čase obdelave, unikatnost in izjemno natančno proizvodnjo, zaradi česar je možno izdelati detajle, ki zahtevajo natančno ujemanje posameznih delov. Pohištvo prihodnosti bo zaradi zmanjšanja kvadratur stanovanjskih površin v mestih več funkcionalno, kar je med drugim tudi bolj ekonomično in trajnostno. Reči prihodnost diši po lesu pomeni predstavljati si prihodnost, ki ni zgolj tehnološka, ampak tudi humana. To je prihodnost, ki ceni ravnovesje med inovacijami in tradicijo, med ljudmi in naravo. V zadnjem času se vedno bolj poudarja pomen biofilnega oblikovanja, ki zagotavlja vnos rastlin, naravnih materialov in dnevne svetlobe v prostor, kar vpliva na dobro počutje in zdravje ljudi. Biofilija deluje kot naravna protiutež urbanizaciji in tehnologizaciji življenja, vrača nas k osnovnim potrebam po stiku z naravo. Prihodnost, ki diši po lesu, pomeni prihodnost, ki je bolj človeška, ki je bolj mehka, povezana z naravo in identiteto spomina. Namesto zaključka pa si poglejmo kratek film, ki govori o prihodnosti, ki diši po življenju, po naravi in drevesih.
You're in a heat wave. It's so bad you can barely think. And your doctor just prescribed you nature. Wait, what? It turns out being around nature is a huge benefit to your health. How? Let's start with trees. They have the amazing ability to clean the air, reducing dangerous air pollution and cool it down by lowering pavement temperatures up to 25 degrees Celsius with their shade, a life-saving difference during heat waves. In fact, living close to greenery can reduce mortality up to 12%. Just being near a park makes it easier to exercise, meditate, and relieve stress. Now let's breathe in and zoom out. Globally, nature is still one of our most reliable health providers. Forests filter and store 40% of the drinking water for the world's largest urban areas. Up to half the world's medicines are derived from plants, while bees, bats, and other pollinators keep 75% of global food crops growing, and the vitamins and minerals that make those crops nutritious, they come from healthy soil. So here's some food for thought. Nature isn't just a nice to have, it's fundamental to our health. but many of the communities that need it the most have least access to it. That means less protection from air pollution, less shade from the heat, less space to exercise, play, and unwind. So, what can we do? Support local leaders in their efforts to bring more green to their communities and speak up for policies that prioritize nature for everyone. Because the cure for a healthy planet and a healthy you begins with planting a seed. You're in a
To je bilo vse z moje strani in hvala za pozornost.
Thank you very much, Jasna, for all these novelties in the field of use of wood, in the field of architecture, and in the field of interior design, of course, also in urban design. Thank you so much. And now I would like to ask very kindly our Vice Dean for Artistic Activities on Faculty of Design, Assistant Professor Moica Berše. She's going to explain the students' project, and she is the author of all exhibitions on our faculty. So, Moica, warm welcome, please.
Dear guests, students, colleagues, and friends of design, welcome. This year is a special one. The Faculty of Design celebrates its 20th university, and we are making it with a serious event, including a major exhibition at Ljubljana City Hall in Ljubljana, in the center. Today's showcase represents a part of that journey, the creative work of our students and mentors. The exhibition reflects a generation that approaches design in many ways, through architecture, visual communication, fashion design, and beyond. It's a generation that seeks harmony with the environment, co-creating identity, culture, and a new experience. It demonstrates that design has the power to connect people and to shape the future, the aesthetic, sustainable, and social responsible. Here you will discover some selected works. A conceptual architecture project inspired by the Ljubljana meshes in the small gallery in the space outside. Sustainable housing concepts such as the tiny house. In both projects, wood is the use of the main building material, shaping not only the architecture, but also the interior element. Then innovative collaboration with industry, from modular furniture design for the elderly to a project designed to the authentic and sustainable tourism experience in the Slovenia countryside, created for the PUSH project. Expressive illustration under the title Eccentric Design, part of the European Design Festival, and number of textile installation on the theme Air, presented at the BIEN 2025 Textile Art Biennale in Kranj, Jesenice, and other cities. And some fashion creations that will come alive this October in Ljubljana Fashion Week. But this is not the end. In November, we will present our traditional overview exhibition Ustvarjalni prepleti at the Gallery Dlul in the center of Ljubljana. This exhibition is more than a display of projects. It's an invitation to imagine the future of design together. Design is never finished. It's always evolving, always searching a new path. Thank you to all the students, mentors who made this possible. And thank you all for being here to celebrate with us. I invite you to explore all the works up close, and the exhibition now is open. Thank you.
Also, thank you very much. And now I would like to invite, is with us President of Designers Association of Slovenia. I didn't see him. I'm sorry, he didn't come. Now I kindly invite the president of the president of Bruman Foundation. I'm sorry. Warm welcome.
Spoštovani, drage kolegice in kolegi, študentke in študenti, lepo pozdravljeni. Vsak predmet, prostor, plakat, stol ali hiša je več kot zgolj oblika. V sebi nosi odtis časa, v katerem je nastal, vrednote tistih, ki so ga oblikovali, in sanje tistih, ki ga bodo uporabljali. Oblikovanje je zato vedno več kot estetika, je vprašanje odgovornosti. Odgovornost je do ljudi, ki bodo s temi stvarmi živeli. Odgovornost je do prostora, ki ga soustvarjamo, in odgovornost je do prihodnosti, ki jo puščamo za sabo. Ko oblikujemo, v resnici sprejemamo odločitve o tem, kakšna bo naša družba. Ali bo vključujoča ali izključujoča. Ali bo trajnostna ali potratna. Ali bo gradila mostove ali postavljala zidove. V tem smislu je oblikovanje tiha, a izjemno močna sila, ki osmišlja naše življenje bolj, kot se morda sploh zavedamo. Zato je prav, da danes, ko govorimo o habitatu, mestih in življenju v njih, spomnimo, prihodnost ne nastane sama od sebe. Prihodnost oblikujemo skupaj. Prav zato sem ponosen, da je Ljubljana letos v organizaciji Fundacije Brumen gostila European Design Festival in podelitev nagrad European Design Awards, dogodek, ki je Slovenijo postavil ob bok največjih evropskih ustvarjalnim središčem. Tema festivala, ekscentričnost oblikovanja izven središča, je pokazala, da so prav nepričakovani lokalni, odmaknjeni konteksti tistih z robov, od drugod, od mladih, pogosto vir najmočnejših in najinovativnejših oblikovalskih rešitev, saj se ne bojijo prestopati meja. In če govorimo o mladih, danes smo tukaj na Fakulteti za dizajn, ki praznuje 20 let. Samo jo spremljam že skoraj 2 desetletji, predvsem preko svoje žene Nataše Vuga, ki ves ta čas poučuje tukaj. Zato vem, kako pomembna je ta šola za rast novih generacij oblikovalcev. Danes pa nas povezuje še nekaj več. Svetovni dan habitata. To je opomnik, da je dostojno bivališče pravica vseh in da smo prav mi odgovorni za prihodnost mest in prostora, v katerem živimo. Leto še posebej, ko izpostavljamo krize, ki vse bolj oblikujejo urbana okolja. Podnebne spremembe, konflikte, neenakost in ko iščemo odgovore, kako se kot skupnost na nje odzvati. Naj bo ta dan priložnost, da si priznamo prihodnost. Mest in družbe ni nekaj, kar se zgodi samo od sebe, je nekaj, kar oblikujemo skupaj. Hvala.
Thank you very much to the board president of Bruman Foundation, Mr. Radovan Arnold. Thank you. Now we are going to proceed our design talk from the concept to the realization. I kindly ask our special guest, Mr. Associate Architect Takahiko Iseki. Is it right? Japanese, I can't speak, but I think it will be okay. He's associated architect at Zaha Hadid Architects and from London. I would like to tell a bit description about your life, your work, your success, about your projects. He was educated in both in Japan and UK, graduating from Kyoto University and later completing his diploma at the Bartlett School of Architecture, University College London. He is a registered architect in Japan and the United Kingdom and a chartered member of the Royal Institute of Ribe. This is the most important British association of architects. His international background and dual professional qualifications reflect a strong foundation that bridges Eastern and Western architectural traditions. After beginning his career at Foster and Partners, where he worked for 6 years, Iseki joined Zaha Hadid Architects in 2013. Since then, he has contributed to a wide range of major international projects, including the award-winning headquarters in the United Arab Emirates, Navi Mumbai International Airport in India, and the CSIP quarters in Shanghai. His current work includes the design of a large mixed-use tower in Georgia and the Shenzhen headquarters, the so-called cultural center for a leading technology company in China. This project illustrates his expertise in sustainability, computational design, and the delivery of complex, large-scale commissions across Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. Alongside practice, Iseki is also engaged in academia and professional exchange. He has lectured at the Architectural Association in London and the Bartlett School of Architecture, as well as at international conferences, including the Smart City Forum in Japan. His role as both practitioner and lecturer demonstrates a commitment to advancing architectural knowledge and fostering dialogue across culture, discipline, and geographies. Warm welcome, dear colleagues. So I'm calling now Professor Emeritus Professor Peter Gabrielčič. Did he come? No? Then I kindly ask to come on the stage Aleš Čakš. He's yes, please, editor of Good Line magazine from Ljubljana. And he's going to ask some questions about all the projects and all the successes of our dear guest, Iteko. So,
Hi. It's a bit early because my colleague is coming because she will write an interview afterwards, after our speech. So the interview with Mr. Takehiko will be published in December issue of Good Life magazine. It will be more or less concentrated on architecture. So, just a sec. Mr. Takehiko, what would you say? In what kind of an architectural era?
Question from the beginning. I think we will see more like an audience here. All young designers, artists, future, they're holding us.
Okay.
In our era is make sure, we create some sustainable foundation for them while we are contributing to day-to-day tasks. I think in that sense, our role is is quite important, but also crucial at this stage when we face the complex issue like climate change or urban design or how the community works. We tend to kind of spend like a short vision works day to day, but I think at the same time quite important to make sure we leave a good foundation for the future generation.
Okay, thank you. Well, my colleague still didn't come, so I just have to find that I will make interview by voice recording. Okay, just a sec. Huh? Oh, okay, cool. No problem. They are recording. Excellent. So, to continue,
We can expand that question to another as well. I think while looking for the next question, I think you're also the dean of the faculty.
so today it's in many fields, it's about sustainability. So how strongly do you believe as an architect in sustainable architecture? Can modern architecture in any way obey the rules of sustainable architecture?
That's another big question. I feel sometimes stressed, when I face those sustainability plans, and again, the responsibility of what we do now and for the future. But I think we take it, every society is facing new challenges, one after another. One of them are economic challenge, climate change. But I think thinking about climate change is not only us, our issue as a human being, but also the kind of the survival of the wider context, survival of all the creatures, natures, environment around us. It's actually supporting our living. If you look at the research, actually only 3% of surface of Earth is used for 70% is the ocean. Out of another 30%, mostly forest, desert. The city like here, only just 3%, only the fraction of Earth. But we are actually creating so much pollution, energy, entire world. So we have to look back in a bigger picture. What we do day to day is actually impact a lot for 97.
So what can architects actually do, regarding this pollution and stuff in their buildings, commercial towers, other projects of architecture?
I think there are two things we can do. One is a technological solution, which every invention and innovation, new ideas will make our life more efficient, more sustainable, less energy consumption. But I think now more important thing is a cultural role towards sustainability for us. As you question, how many people here believe sustainability? It's not a technical question, it's actually cultural question. We have to build up the culture that we are going towards the sustainable society, sustainable future. So it's not only the role of the architects, we have to share those visions with all the generations, all the people in different countries, and all the people in the same community. So I think that particularly for the role of architect, we are more responsible for the cultural vision, and then technical.
So, but the bottom line is that architects, they do, of course, believe in sustainability. Or no,
Again,
you doubt that.
Again, you cannot ignore. Again, as I said, we are only living 3%, but the 70% of the environment supporting our life. So if we can ignore sustainability, we will not be able to survive. It's, I think, now becoming more issue of survival, I think. if you research more and more, we are at the tipping point, which we might not be able to go back, right? So we are at a serious turning point.
Okay, let's keep sustainability for a sec. So your focus as an architect is, among other projects, on complex transport, urban development, technically advanced residential and commercial towers. What is nowadays essential in these particular projects to gain the very modern architectural spirit?
Again, it's related to the city. So recently, our practice also work large-scale infrastructure, not only just the building, but infrastructure, urban design, master plan. Here, again, the big question is how sustainable we can expand. How sustainably, improve the quality of life. No one wants to live without air conditioning. No one wants to live without the lighting or gas, road, train, airport, everything
And
we
how-
rely on.
How architects do this? How Zaha Hadid architects do this in their projects?
So again, we don't tackle this solely by ourselves. It's very difficult. We collaborate with great engineers, politicians, policymakers, and investors. All of those people need to agree with one vision. That's why, again, it's important. It's a cultural issue for them to understand, what we think it is the right way to progress our future, what's the right way to make the city more sustainable, and sharing the vision is the most challenging thing nowadays I face. Because technology is there, actually, in many sense, if you're serious about solving this. But most of the obstacle actually comes from cultural issue.
Since you're mentioning this cultural issue, is it, therefore, it's probably very different if you start to work on one project in one continent on the other. There are differences then.
Yeah, it is. So that's another
Big question.
question. But I also enjoy that diversity myself. That's why it kind of makes me keep going, because whenever I go, I meet new people. Like here, it's my first time to come to Slovenia. I meet new students, I meet new people. We'll see. I'm really looking forward to see lots of ideas, which is going to exchange for the next 1 week. All those difference actually, or misunderstanding, or the conflict is actually the source of my creativity in a way, and my source of imagination, because we don't force our way to the people, because we build the building, we build the city for the people who live there. After we build, we might not gonna live there, but we build the city for them. That's why it's key role for us to understand and listen and see the cultural difference, and then communicate and share the vision together.
So for the next question, I have to ask you, when did you arrive to Ljubljana?
Last night.
Okay. So
my flight
maybe
delayed.
you can answer this. Maybe you can answer this. What is your first impression about Ljubljana's architecture, about residential towers, commercial towers? Did you get any idea, or because I think in Ljubljana we have difficulties with urban development. So maybe you already noticed that.
Well, first impression is I arrived at the airport. It was surrounded by really nice spruce trees. That reminds me, my hometown in Japan, surrounded by trees. So, and then this theme of the conference is also about wood. Wood is another universal material you can find in almost many countries. But we use the wood in different ways. That's another cultural inspiration I found. But I had a great tour by Arbracia from last night and this morning to have an amazing tour of the city. This city is so beautiful. I cannot imagine how I missed this opportunity before until today. But again, I'm really kind of fortunate to to be invited and to see the city. And my impression of this city is again, is beautiful and walkable and amazing compact city, which was, designed well back, 100 and 200 years ago, even more than, and the accumulation of history. And each era of the history, you have beautiful building, built along the rivers, and then educational institutions, and city hall. Those key architectural building for the city was properly designed, which is, I think you guys have to be fortunate to live here.
So you say that you liked Little Ljubljana's airport, actually. And you're
Okay, yeah, I can tell you this story. I had so many bad kind of issue of the huge airport. Actually, we built one of the largest airport in the world in Beijing, which is 1 billion passenger per year. It's crazy. It's almost like a city. I will probably show you this slide later. But I also travel quite a lot, and then recently I have a lot of problem of a big airport, because when I have to transit, I have to run from one side of the airport to the other side of the airport. I ran yesterday as well. I was almost missing my flight. It's like a fitness, for me every time I travel. So I really like
so
small
they
and
made it on
compact
purpose,
airports.
actually.
Yeah,
That
I think
we
so.
exercise
Yeah,
while we
after a
travel.
long flight, yes. But I really like the compact city you live, and I really like the compact airport, So yeah, I think Ljubljana is one of the great examples for the future cities. Walkable, pedestrian-friendly. You have a lot of connection to the mountains and the rivers, and you have a amazing historical, legacy from the past. Amazing architects was recognized in the city. It's also, exactly. It's one of the other rare city which recognize the architects. Architects are not much recognized as you imagine. So this
And your
shows
specialty is actually also creating airports, right? Worldwide.
so
is that correct?
I did many different things, but in our office or the in the Foster's office I used to work, we don't categorize people by the type of buildings or type of the country. So whenever a new project comes, I work. And the airport project is a little bit specialized within architecture design because it has lots to do with the airport regulation and about the kind of airport authorities and how the runway works. It's a lot more engineering driven, but we always find a way to add the design into the airport.
Okay. Well, you are an associate at Zaha Hadid Architects, which is one of the most remarkable architectural studio in the world. Why Zaha Hadid Architects stands out on a global scale so much?
I think we still say we are still struggle.
You do?
Yes, we try to make another big break, all the time. I don't know. We are definitely experimental. We are ambitious.
How would
kind of
you
really
describe
hungry,
in 5 topics Zaha Hadid Architects?
Again, so experimental, innovative, technologically driven. We are artistic, group of people as well. And we don't draw any boundary between the design or engineering or even the students or professions. We work together. And another strength of us is we don't normally hire people just through the agency kind of thing. Normally hire a system. We actually teach a lot. So 1 in 5 staff in our office partially or permanently engaged with education all over the world, which Zaha and Patrick was like that. Since Zaha graduated AA, she was constantly teaching until she passed away. So that's kind of a legacy we still kind of keep in our office. So we not only hiring people, we actually educate people even before they come to our office. So our ethos was not taught in the office, but through the education, through working together, we build up our culture.
And you are probably your projects and your buildings are all over the world, in every continent, probably.
Yes.
It-
Not
okay.
in Africa, in North Africa, Morocco.
Okay.
Yes, Algeria.
Okay, the last question, which is maybe the most important one for today's living. How your studio includes artificial intelligence in your projects, and what artificial intelligence can't do but architects can.
Yeah, another big topic. So architects, artificial intelligence, we're actually looking at those more than 5 years now, even before the ChatGPT comes. We knew that it's the next big technological advancement in our field, but we realized it's much, much bigger game changer for all the industry. So we are also, even today, we are trying to catch up and keep up the new release, new technology, released by AI, which is, how to say, mind-blowing and overwhelming almost to keep up. Previously, what we follow the technological advancement is one software package was released, and that was, new release, new version, new kind of update. That's how we follow the technology. But AI is very different. Every month or every 2-3 months, they creating completely new platform, new interface, new ideas. So it's very different. I mean, it's much more dynamic and much more powerful. So and it's much more versatile. So we use day-to-day the text prompt and the image generation in many of the projects. But also we use for kind of design analysis, simulations. With AI is much more precise and fast. We also do the image detection. For example, we have many archive design of Zaha Hadid, for the past 40 years. We gave all those digital information, imagery information to AI to train them. So now we have our own AI. We don't use someone else's AI. We build up our own AI, and we can keep training our AI. And they are part of our, let's say, staff in the office. So we work together with AI, but still, I don't think we see the full potential of AI, which is, we hope it's going to be a fortunate, nice outcomes, but I also fear there is a lot of danger of those
Like?
technological ones.
What could be a danger, let's say, for your work?
Because people, I think people can already experience some of them. You can generate the text, you can generate the thesis, you generate your ideas, generate your image much quicker. But that quickness is actually the problem, one of the biggest problems. We start not to think deeply or thoroughly or slowly by our brain. We start to depend little by little to the knowledge of AI or the amazement of the speed of idea. It's like a Pandora's box. I think everyone already starts to experience. Then I think one of the danger is that we as a human start to not think too much, and we start to listen. What's the next answer AI gives me? What's the next idea AI gives me? We start to become more passive about the information, and we become just a receiver. We don't really start to think about it. That is one of the biggest danger. And when it comes to the architecture or the future of society, you can make city quicker, much quicker, if you don't care anything. Very, very quick. AI can build a new city, new master plan. Your next future of 50 years, they can make in 10 minutes. I found it really scary. Do we have enough? What I worry is, do we have enough kind of communication or conversation with the people who live there for the next 50 years? Do we only listen to AI or not? Do we actually talk to the real people? Do we actually see the real problem? Because I think architecture is the the difficulty and also the amazing things about architecture is there's no easy answer. So that's why I can still work on architecture. But it feels like when you work with AI, it feels like you see the answer, but it's actually not the answer if you look at it thoroughly. So I really hope the students don't jump onto the easy answer from the AI. Try to use your brain, try to think a bit more, try to talk to people, try to talk to your professor, try to see the different idea, different kind of conflict. So again, as I said earlier, I feel the cultural conflict or the misunderstanding of the idea is actually a great source of creativity. So try not to avoid facing to those challenges and try to find your own answer, your own way, and then let AI work on it, not the other way around.
Yeah, I would say let's stick to human brains, right? Mr. Takehiko, thank you very much for the interview. I wish you also a very productive workshop with students, and thank you, Faculty of Design, for the opportunity to have this interview.
Thank you, Aleš. Thank you very much. My dear colleagues. I'm Professor Peter Gabrielčič, Professor Emeritus at the Faculty of Architecture of University of Ljubljana, is here one of Slovenia's leading academic figures in architecture and urbanism. Throughout his work, he has been dedicated to advancing architectural education, contributing both as a teacher and as a mentor to generations of architects in Slovenia and abroad. Alongside his teaching, Professor Gabrielčič has developed a strong body of professional work as an architect and a special urban planner, with a particular focus on housing, sustainable design, and the development of urban environments. His project and research reflect a consistent concern for the relationship between architecture, the most important society, and the environment, often engaging with the challenges of contemporary living and the cultural context of Central Europe. He has published extensively and has been active in numerous professional bodies, juries, and architectural competitions. He is the owner of many national and international awards. And in addition to his architectural practice and academic leadership, Professor Gabrielčič has played an important role in shaping architectural discourse in Slovenia. He has collaborated internationally as a lecturer, researcher, and visiting professor, contributing to conferences, symposia, and professional debates across Europe. Recognized for his lifelong commitment to the discipline, he continues to inspire younger generations through his writings, lectures, and ongoing engagement with architectural culture and education. Warm welcome, Professor Gabrielčič. On the other side, we have this famous architect from Zaha Hadid Studios. Warm welcome. So we can proceed now. Some of the questions, we have many answers, but although I would like to ask this thing, we all adore Zaha Hadid's concept. We all adore her energy, and we all adore her concept from idea to realization to production. Why do you think is she such a strong power woman in the world? I could say the most powerful woman in the world. And of course, we can learn about that concept a lot. Where is her point of view? Can you tell us, please?
So I didn't study it under her directly. I worked with her about 3 years when till she passed away. One of the things I was struck by her is she's always believing a young generation.
Yes.
She gives a huge task to the new graduate from the university. If she believes people's talent and she believes the architect can be, regardless of the age, talented architect should be able to achieve much bigger project than they never imagined. So her trust to our younger generations and her trust to the future, her optimism for the future is the biggest engine for our office for long time.
Thank you. Great. How do you define the difference? Sorry. How do you define the difference between a concept and an idea, and what makes a design concept strong enough to move forward? And how do you balance with research in the early stages, and what roles does storytelling play when presenting a concept? How important is this presenting of early concepts, early ideas? Thank you.
Concept stage is one of the most important stage of our practice. We spend a lot of energy to build a firm concept. And in a way, if you see the whole process of architecture from concept to construction, concept stage is almost like a 10% in terms of the time frame we can spend. Most of the construction will take much longer. So in a way, concept is very tiny in terms of the portion of the time, but in the essence of architecture, we see it one of the most important phase in every project. So in our office, I don't know when the earlier stage of the project, when the office was less experienced, but now we have a stronger team with many different experience. And at the concept stage, we work collaboratively together with the experienced architect and the young architects all together. And sometimes the idea of the young architects win, compared to the experienced architect. And that often happens in our office. And but it's not about who produced that concept. It's about when you see the good concept. I cannot explain clearly, but when you see the good concept, everyone actually agrees, And then the senior architects or experienced architects actually develop the concept with their experience. So it's not like a pyramid type of hierarchy in our office. It's more like a football team. The defense has got their own kind of a role, and goalkeeper and the midfielder and the forward. Everyone plays a different role. But when we see the new idea, we somehow know that this all can make a goal. So we work together very closely and then create a concept.
What about prototyping? Which concept? How do you decide which concept is going to be prototyped?
So again, we create many options, 10, 20, 30. If you couldn't find, you're continuously creating another 40, 50, 60. I don't know how many. And when each project is different. As you see, our portfolio, we do the stadium, we do the airport, we do different countries, we do the different size. So I cannot say there is one single recipe, but the good idea often has a immovable, they kind of connecting this like missing dots together, and then creating one strong concept. And when people, it's hard to say again, you will never know until you see it or until you work together. And then, but when you see, everyone kind of agrees. The other thing is, as I said earlier, we are not like a corporate practice. We spend a lot of time for the researching and the studying and the educating together. So we have kind of untaught concept among the office. What we see, we would like to do unconsciously. So that's why we have kind of the similar, we go through similar educational background at the AEA, at the Bartlett, at the Switzerland and all over the world. But we have kind of same concept of how the technology enhance the society. And we're always looking for something we never done.
Thank you. So perfect. So the future is not yesterday. The future is not tomorrow. The future is today. Sorry. Sorry. I wanted to say thank you very much. What about the future? Future is not yesterday. Future is not tomorrow. Future is now. We have to think about of all these new technologies, digital tools, and so on. We are speaking all the time, all over the Europe and world, during all our associations, at last in London, where we met us for the first time. And these skills and tools are the most important things, not only for teaching our students, but also for experienced architects, engineers, and so on. And now I would like to give my words to Professor Gabrielčić, because he has prepared some questions on this, not yesterday, but on future happening in studio. Professor is leading also his own studio, Architectura, architecture, with his very famous two sons, and has a lot of practice in a real world, in the real projects, not only in Slovenia, but all over and beyond Europe. So.
You gave me so many medals and compliments that I'm afraid to pass a river and not the sunk. Yeah, I very appreciate that you are here.
Thank you very much.
In such a way, we are in a spirit with the Zaha Hadid office and his ideas, her ideas, because we know all that she turned, in fact, the total perspective about architecture, especially about, let's say, aesthetic and function. And it's interesting that she was not at first architect, like Corbusier, for instance. They both turn in some way the perception on architecture. She was mathematic, so that means she was researcher. It's perfect. But on the other hand, she was still live human. She was not AI.
Yeah.
And I would like to continue your speech. I heard it before. So it's a question about AI. I'm using all the time that new tool just for the first start to research job when you're in front of blank page, paper, what to do. Like a writer, they're beginning to type something and then throw away, just to escape that scaring situation. But never more, because, and this is my question, is all those tools are for us, for human, or we should transfer ourselves to be equivalent to there. I'm trying to play piano sometimes. I have perfect Yamaha, very expensive. It's perfect, but it's too perfect. Because if I have a chance to play in a Steinway with all those small mistakes and so on, it's much more touchable. And this is what you try to explain.
Yeah.
You shouldn't lose your human soul. And now, how you are working in such a way that all your projects, nearly all, even those very big one, with thousands of participants, still have such a human touch. No, it's very difficult. It's not about the scale. It's not about the skillful different participations, but how you can manage that to the end you can follow, not say the first idea, but some kind of idea, like one conductor of the music, you know. Everybody hate him because, you know, they are all solists. And they have troubles with the technique. Something is missing and so on. But under all of that, it's a spirit of his mind, his inner landscape, what he wanted to do. And finally, this is his music. Nevertheless, that they have the partitur and the soloist knows that better. They can play by themselves.
The filter is playing piano and
No.
makes sketchy.
No. And
It is the same.
how and who is now some group spirit, some common will, culture common will to make something perfect. Who is measuring that main idea in your office?
Or in our office.
In your office, in your experiences.
No, it's a lot of analogy I think we can compare between human and the computer. Like if you have 10 centimeter wide, concrete blocks, in front of you, and you ask to walk from this side to the other side. On this floor, you can easily walk from this side to the other side. But if you put that same plank, 300-meter tower, on top of the bridge, and ask you to walk 10 meters, we cannot do because we are fragile, we are scared, we are worried. So in a sense, but if you do the robot, they can do exactly the same movement from one side of the bridge to the other side of the bridge, wherever you put them. So we are fundamentally different from computer and the robots. And in one sense, we are imperfect. In one sense, we are emotional. One sense, we are kind of anger and rage and fear. The computer doesn't have those, but it looks perfect when you project yourself into the computer because they can execute everything perfectly. But at a certain point, you can make use of the ability of the computer, even the concept of construction, because they can do precise amount of work exactly the same times, 1 million times. We human cannot do, because we get exhausted, we want to sleep, we want to eat, we want to go out for date. We are lazy, we're looking for fun, we're looking for something better, but the computer doesn't. They don't have that kind of emotional up and down, which in some occasion, it's amazing to utilize those into architecture and construction because we, for example, one of the AI or even before AI, the computation we use in our office, some of the repetitive work, we let the computer do. we do thousands of simulation. Even now, let the computer do it overnight. When you come back in the morning, they give you the list of outcomes. 1,000 times, 2,000 times, 3,000 times. They do without complaining, which is amazing. But when you see the perfectly, manicured model made out of computer, we somehow feel soulless, because they don't have those emotions. And then it's in a way boring, or you cannot imagine somehow people live there because they don't think that way. They don't think our way, we somehow projecting too much our thought into the computer. Almost feel like computer is talking to me, or computer is talking, some amazing things just for me. But it's not, they're just calculating, and they're just combining, they're editing, and then giving to you some of the examples. So I think one of the starting point is that's why our office still put the importance of the face-to-face conversation, the discussion and the sketches, some ideas, doodling, so many kind of ideas coming from human imperfection to make it something artistry, yeah, that's how we work, and then we enjoy doing that process. I think that's another important thing. You have to enjoy the process. The process you don't enjoy, just let the computer does, for those, and then to make sure, but something more creative, something you enjoy, something fun, you do it together with other humans.
I remember once it was a competition architecture for one complex urbanistic and architecture competition. And we decided to pull all the decision-making process into the computer. The result was awful. He judged everything special, but the life is not so perfect. That's
You're not perfect. That's the amazing thing.
Thank you. Thank you to both for these questions and also for these answers. Thank you. I have only and last question, if I may, for the both. What do you recommend to our students? What should we learn at the very first day when they are coming to the faculty? They came now, a couple of days ago. And what should we as professors train with them? I know that Professor Gabrilcic will say on our first lesson, because we have together studio on master urban design students and Erasmus students, computer away, you should think with your own thoughts, heart, and make architectural sketches. But what would you recommend? Perhaps also the students or even our professors have some questions. Itiko, what would you say? Of course, we need all this digitalization. Without, we are cold, or what should I say? But we should not forget that the greatest art and architectural and cultural designs and projects have been made with the hands, by the soul, by the thoughts, by the research. And we are living with Jože Plečnik in Ljubljana. It is so nice to know that he was such a simple guy, such a simple thought, but his projects are most beautiful I have ever seen all over Europe. Also, our mayor of Ljubljana would say, we have the most beautiful green city in the world. So please, Itiko, about your experience and your students. You are a lecturer all over Asia, Japan, China, India, London.
So, I mean, as a student, my personal experience as a student, I probably didn't focus too much on architecture. I was helping my friends for the theater design. I was doing the filming. I was doing the photography. I was also doing the band. I was trying different things. Whatever I was interested, and then somehow architecture is the only one to stay. For some reason. So I would really recommend the students to open up. Your one of the amazing city in amazing community. So try to try out the different things, I would say, and also travel abroad, see the different culture, see the different way of living. I think that will give you a really good background of what you produce and you get inspired. Um, Often you think, your imagination is the best thing in the world, but try to look for other sources, other people get inspired. Try to copy as much as possible, whoever you like to, admire, and then try to follow people, and yeah, that will eventually will come to your asset. So don't worry about it.
Thank you so much. The last word I'm giving to Professor.
Well, what to say to young people? No, but it's not so easy. We should help to every one of you to find your message in the world, to find what is your gift, because everyone has some gift. Maybe not for design, maybe for politics or for economy. But you are here because our duty is to find in you, and you can find with us what is your gift. First of all, I think that by my experiences, I had about 800 masters. I was mentor. So those young people who later on success in profession, they were how to say, passion, curious. They were open-eye people with empathy, not to thinking about there's a sex, but just to enjoy in research the world around it. And step by step, they should recognize that they should somehow to learn how to step across that blank paper, and that is every time the same, even if you are 80s, that never is simple. I'm nearly now 80, and if I get a new commission, first of all, I think what I wanted to study that because I can't do that. I'm stupid. But step by step, with a research, let's say, what is research? Listen to the people, listen music, walking around, reading books, and so on. This is a time for research. Then the time for the peaceful time, you should walking around. This is some stage of how to say, kako se že to reče, no? Okay. I'm missing a word. And suddenly it's like when you're taking pictures with old photos, the lens clarify in the moment. It's one science thing. In your inner landscape, you produce to that procedure, which are sometimes very quick, in 1 month, in a week, sometimes in 2 years, to clarify that picture. And in one happy moment, you can see what is a step ahead. It's not so consciously, it's unconsciously. It's up to you. And therefore, if you are running with the AI and with the IT and those old tools so fast, you don't have time to go to that kind of human procedure. And you can find something really different, because AI give you solutions which are well known in some way. And you are quite happy to say, oh, it's good, I did it, good job. But it's not enough. It should be more in a creative process. And we are here now. We can learn how to be creative if you have potential, if you have gift. Because gift is maybe 5% of our job. But without gift, it's 100, you know? And therefore, to be courage, to believe in yourself, to be polite, not to, and so step by step, you became a good professionalist, maybe even artist. That's it.
Very strong words. We should remember. And of course, I wish to all our new students and of course our students that they should think about what a wonderful profession is this, starting from zero, and what steps should we take to make the best product, systems, concept, and so on. I would like to thank you very much to our colleague from the ETECO, from Zaha Hadid Studio. Thank you very much to Professor Petar Gabrielčić, the long here, 25 years, Dean of Faculty of Architecture of University of Ljubljana. And I would like to thank you all of you coming on this, our first event of our Urban October events. Now I am kindly inviting you on coffee break and networking, and of course later on Design Management Competence Center, where our colleague is going to make one workshop with our with all of you. Thank you so much.